there, it's John Maloney here again. My channel is Blind Johnny's Choice, Dying with Dignity. And my handle is at Blind Johnny's Choice. And the email I use for, if you want to connect with me personally through email, it is blindjohnny25. That's BLINDJOHNNY25 I'm even open to accepting phone calls from people. And I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and my phone number is 780-423-0093. Well, that was a pretty polished beginning. Anyways, I just doing my recording for today. I'm going to touch on a few things. I'm not sure how long my recording is going to be. And someone asked me why I record the videos on YouTube and not on Facebook. And YouTube, just because their videos are a lot easier to share. Who knows if I'm still, if I get lots of views, I can monetize my channel that way to help raise money for my Dying with Dignity. Although I think that's a much longer process than what I want to stick around for. And I'm hoping to get this medical assistance and suicide international thing happening. Hopefully by the end of January, really. So today, first of all, I want to talk about ChatGPT and the documents. So whenever I send you a document, I do use ChatGPT to help me develop the document and to write the document. It's not as easy process as you might think. So there's different types of ease. So for example, the document I'm going to be including today is going to be on Charles Bonnet syndrome. It took me about 15, 20 minutes because I just got it to do a research project. I didn't need any of my information in there. So it was kind of like, okay, convert this into a Word document. Now convert the Word document into a PDF document. Boom, boom, bang, we're done. All right. So yeah. But for example, the document I created on, which is on another channel, video of mine, I believe, it was called Medical Assistance in Dying, a Human Rights Imperative. That one took me about 9 hours to do because I wanted very specific information, cross-checking, making sure things were accurate. Wording was proper. Probably could have been a little faster if I wanted to pull up my computer and type on Word, but I just find using ChatGPT fascinating. So again, it's not as easy to create a very specific document on ChatGPT, but I could probably do a whole thing on that, and I might for one of my rambles. So I do use ChatGPT to create the document, so they might look a little formulaic, but that's the way it is. Also, now I want to talk a little bit about my sight loss journey. The reason I like to call it my sight loss journey versus my vision loss journey is that vision means different things. Vision also means looking forward, being able to predict the future, being able to visualize what you want to see happen in the future, things like that. So I definitely have lots of vision. Like I tell people, what I lack in sight, I make up for in vision. So anyway, I do like to say sight loss. I mean, visually impaired is pretty clear. But yeah, I do like to say like sight loss. But anyways, you'll just people like that terminology better. So, and then I'm going to talk about Charles Bonnet syndrome. So my sight loss started. I was born with congenital cataracts. At 18 months, I could see out of both eyes. I had both lenses removed. They couldn't implant lenses at the time. Or didn't. It was like 1972, so they couldn't or they didn't do it in babies. Actually, it was 18 months. It would have been early 1973. Anyways, then probably within a year of that, my brother hit me in the eye with a belt buckle. I had to get lots of surgeries on my left eye, which what he hit. And then when I was around, I think 6.5 or so, another surgery. I had a reconstructive surgery on my left eye, and right after that, he hit me in the eye again and got a retinal detachment, and I lost my vision. Lost my sight. See, again, lost my vision might mean something different than lost my sight. So I lost my sight out of my left eye. Then about a year later, somewhere between 7 and 8, they discovered glaucoma in my right eye. And I've been slowly losing that sight ever since until 2021. So I would have been like around 50. That's when I lost my sight, functional sight totally. So again, I could see better when I was younger, but I still needed to use a magnifying glass to read, even at the age of 9 or 10, just because again, I didn't have any lenses in my eyes. So I think by the age of 10, I had 20/200 vision. So that's only 10% vision out of my right eye. But again, no lens, so you can't focus on stuff. So yeah, I probably should have took my medication more throughout my life, but probably by the time I think it was like 2007, I had 20/400 vision, I believe it was. So yeah, but in between that time, vision loss in 1999, I started seeing colors added to things. So like imagine if you had a color filter added to something, or you turned up your RGB on your monitor and played with that, how it distorts colors. That's basically what was going on in my right eye there. Started in January of 1999. For the first couple of years, it was just red and different intensities of red. But in about 2001 or 2002, it switched around to red, green, pink, orange, yellow, whatever color would be added to stuff. So yeah, I had a social worker in my workplace tell me that sounds better than a drug trip. And at first it was, but after a while it got really annoying, and it's still annoying to this day, because now fast forward to 2017, late 2017, started seeing different things like shapes and firecrackers and all that stuff, along with the distorted colorations. And that just kind of, for a while, it was a few minutes here, a few minutes there, but then it just increased until it's now persistent. So even though I can't see, I have no functional vision. And I say that, which basically in 2021, I stopped using my sight totally. Again, in terms of detail, what I can do now is I can see light and dark. Really, that's about it. So it helps me, for example, if I'm in a light, I'll give you an example. In my kitchen, for example, if I play around and really pay attention, I can actually tell where the doorway is to my hallway, because my kitchen paint is light yellow and my doorway is generally dark, but sometimes I miss it and hit the wall. So it's not always consistent, but that's kind of what I'm dealing with. And now, so I lost my sight in 2021, all my functional vision. So here we are now at 2025, and the Charles Bonnet syndrome just increased. So let's talk about that now a little bit. So I'm actually thinking back in 1999 is when I started developing Charles Bonnet syndrome, even though my doctors didn't know what was going on. But yeah, just starting, I said, like, give you the progression. Now the hallucinations are consistent. They're consistent, and what's the word I want to use? Persistent. So even when I close my eyes, I tried the blinking thing. I tried some of the strategies I read in the report that I'm sending you guys. By the way, I've actually learned some cool stuff in there. But I've tried some of those strategies throughout. None of them work for me. So it's there. So it's sometimes it's maddening. Sometimes the visions are vivid. Sometimes they're people. Sometimes scenery. Sometimes ugly people. Sometimes pretty people. So yeah, sometimes really distorted views as well. So, but I know I'm not. Well, I don't think I'm insane, because I know those, at least for that reason. Anyways, just a joke. But I know that it's Charles Bonnet syndrome, or CBS as they call it for short. When I first heard the acronym CBS, I thought of the TV station, but that's also the acronym for Charles Bonnet syndrome. What was I going to say again? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, all I was going to say is that it sucks, right? It sucks. I learned stuff about Charles Bonnet syndrome from that report, but it still sucks, and it does. It's draining on me mentally. I guess I'm lucky. Well, I'm not lucky, but I'm one of those rare people that have the persistent, consistent hallucinations, whether my eyes are closed or open. The only time I don't have those Charles Bonnet hallucinations is when I'm dreaming, but I want to talk a bit more about that in another episode. So again, I still assert my right to die in a legal, in a dignified way. And I am advocating for that. I am formulating a fundraiser idea, thinking of just doing some crowdsourcing and going through just e-transfer immediately, or going through GoFundMe. I'm not sure I'm going to work that out, because although GoFundMe, they do take a portion. So they take, the way it works is they take 30 cents per, donation, plus 2.9%. And my idea is kind of working on micro donations. So they take a lot. So not a lot if you're doing like $100, $200 donate. But anyways, I'm just trying to kind of figure out how that's going to work for me, and for us. But I do have a couple ideas. But I just want to see how things are going to formulate in my head over the next couple of days. If you guys have any ideas for fundraising things where the government can't take the money, that would be great to hear. I know, for example, if I do an e-transfer, I have to claim that immediately. Things like that. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure stuff out again. Said email is blindjohnny25@gmail.com. Number is 780-423-0093. And I always like to say, so if I wasn't looking at the screen all the time, I'm blind. I try to do the best I can, but it's hard to, what I actually do is when I'm setting up my camera on my phone, I have my voiceover on, and then I move my head around until I hear face centered. Then I tap my phone 3 times to turn off voiceover, then have a little clicker here. I click it once to start the video. I click it twice to stop the video or stop it from videoing. Or click it again. So that's my technology for this stuff. Anyways, I'm going to sign off for now. And yes, tomorrow I will be doing my thing on why I believe suicide is not a sin according to the Bible. I have a document for that as well, which I'll upload as well tomorrow. So, and by the way, I'm trying to remember to do these documents in a PDF format as they're more accessible for people. So if I forget to give a link to a PDF document, let me know in the comments, and I will definitely, convert that document and repost it. And really, that is about it. So guys, have an excellent day, and bye for now.